Hey, so this is my personal cookie recipe that I came up with about a year ago, and I've been tweaking it since then. Uh, it's very easy. The ingredients are going to be down in the bottom, so no worries. The ingredients and the directions will be posted down below this video. This video is just me showing you how to put it together, how I do it, and you can either do it my way or you can do it your own way. I don't care. But I'm using all my ingredients in this video today. All my ingredients came from a grocery store in the US called Save-A-Lot. The first thing I'm doing is putting in a stick and a half of butter. Again, the butter came from Save-A-Lot. And this is a whipping blade, a whipping mixer, whatever you want to call it, attachment. And I'm using a KitchenAid mixer. Yes, that is the 90th anniversary KitchenAid mixer. I thought the red was really cool, so I had to have one. If you own a KitchenAid, you know how important a KitchenAid mixer is in your kitchen. I personally have 3 of these, so I do like my KitchenAid mixers. KitchenAid, if you're listening and you want to send me another mixer, please do. I would like to have the new modern one. But this KitchenAid mixer here, it's amazing. I do a lot of cooking with my KitchenAids. I make a lot of hamburger too. I can go to the grocery store and I can buy hamburger and I can grind it with my KitchenAid mixer. We'll talk about that later because there's going to be a lot of dead space that I need to fill up some time while I'm doing this video. So I've got my stick and a half of butter in the KitchenAid mixer and it's whipping right now. So now I'm going to get my dry ingredients ready, and we're going to start off with 2.5 cups of flour. You don't have to be precise. If it's one thing I've learned about this recipe, you don't have to be precise. Your cookies are going to end up absolutely perfect every single time you make them. This is going to be 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Again, you can guess at this. Don't put a ton of baking soda in your cookies. The baking soda is just to help it rise a little bit. Don't put a ton of it. Next ingredients I'm putting in the dry is going to be 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. Again, the salt's kind of okay depending on how much you like salt. Remember, don't go overboard on this because your butter is already salted. So I just take a whisk and I mix together those 3 ingredients, and I'm jumping back over to the mixer and I'm just taking my butter that got to the top of the bowl and I'm just knocking it back down into the bowl. So if you've ever made buttercream frosting, this is pretty much the steps to making buttercream frosting here in the beginning. We're just whipping butter to make it whipped and creamy looking, and then we add sugar. You know, that's all buttercream frosting really is. So this is going to be 1 cup of powdered sugar. So it might be a little bit more, a little less, but like I said, you cannot add these ingredients together and have it not taste delicious. So don't be afraid of sticking directly to the instructions. If you follow the instructions, the cookies are going to be amazing. If you have a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that, the cookies are going to be amazing. So what I always do when I add powdered sugar, really to anything that I'm mixing, I go ahead and I hand mix that powdered sugar in the bowl before I turn the mixer on. heed my warning on this one. If you don't do it, you'll be cleaning powdered sugar out of your kitchen for the next month. So right there you see I now have buttercream frosting. My next ingredients is going to be brown sugar. Again, there's Ginger Evans. That is a Save-A-Lot store name. This is going to be 1 cup of packed brown sugar. And because I'm not sweet enough, I like to have extra sugar. So there might be a little bit more than just 1 cup. See it spilling over just a little bit. The brown sugar you don't have to worry about really mixing this in to your whip. You can just dump this in. The brown sugar, when you start mixing, it's not going to go all over your kitchen. But look how fluffy that is. I mean, that's a nice buttercream frosting right there. I bet it's a delicious just with that confectioner's sugar and the butter. Because who doesn't like butter, right? Who doesn't like butter? Butter. So again, just scraping off the butter that works its way up the mixer in the bowl. So there's our brown sugar. So between the brown sugar, the egg, and the vanilla, this mixture will turn very creamy. That brown sugar will break down and it won't be all granulized, but we'll still have that brown sugar taste. I haven't tried this with dark brown sugar. I think that should be on my list of things to do. Alright, so we're pretty well mixed with our brown sugar. Now we're going to add 2 eggs. The ingredients below calls for 2 large or 2 jumbo eggs. I'm using large today. If you use jumbo eggs that are a little bit bigger than large, it just makes your cookies a little bit more fluffy. Unfortunately, I did not have jumbo eggs. And make sure not to get any eggshells. That's what I'm doing right now. I dropped an eggshell in there. But yeah, if you use 2 jumbo eggs, your cookies will be a little bit fluffier than 2 large eggs. But so it's whipping up right now. It's still creamy, but it doesn't have that frosting texture to it. And once you add your vanilla, the vanilla is going to make it pretty fluffy. So I'm just scraping the edge. This keeps this mixture like all consistent. So you don't have chunks of unmixed stuff in the cookie once it bakes. But there's the vanilla. Again, this is Markham vanilla from Save-A-Lot. I also use the vanilla in a great big ginormous bottle from that big box store that we all seem to hate but go to. The recipe is going to call for 2 tablespoons of vanilla, and you see how fluffy the vanilla made it. I guess the alcohol from the vanilla with the egg kind of turns it into like a whipped cream. You cannot put too much vanilla in this. Like I said, it calls for 2 tablespoons. If you slip and put too much vanilla in, the cookies are just going to taste better. I like vanilla. Vanilla is delicious. So I just added the dry ingredients. And again, you're going to want to hand mix the dry ingredients to turn the dough into like a more solid mix. If you just dump this flour in the mixer and then turn the mixer on, you're going to have flour all over your kitchen. Nothing good will come from that. So, go ahead and take that extra second to hand stir the flour into that whipped cream that we had just kind of made. Then we're going to let this mix for a few minutes. You really can't let this mix too long. It just turns into a whipped, beautiful, gorgeous, doughy, amazing, and trust me when I tell you that this concoction right now, raw cookie dough, tastes great. Yeah, stick your finger in there and try it sometime. It won't kill you. I don't care. Well, I'm sorry. It might kill you if you live in California, but in the other 49 states, eating cookie dough won't kill you. It'll be all right. So my mixture is done now, and I did shorten this up quite a bit just because this video ran long, and I didn't want to go too far over a half hour to make 50-some cookies. This will make you about 25 to 30 cookies. We're going to add a half of a bag of milk chocolate chips. So milk chocolate chips are sweeter than semi-sweet chocolate chips. The cookies are pretty sweet the way they are right now. So we've got half a bag of milk chocolate chips, and these are a full bag of semi-sweet chocolate chips that I just dumped in. I'm not sure why I didn't show you the label. That's what it is. Ginger Evans semi-sweet chocolate chip cookies from the Save-A-Lot store, and there's Ginger Evan milk chocolate cookies. And you don't want to mix your chocolate chips in a mixer. So mix these by hand. If you do it with your mixer, the chocolate chips will get all crushed and broken up, and nobody likes to eat a broken up chocolate chip in their cookie. If you do it with the attachment that's on our mixer now, the whipping attachment, it will completely destroy the chocolate chip. It'll take the chocolate chip and just kind of melt it or smash it into the cookie dough. It'll just turn the cookie dough brown, and you won't have the chocolate chips anymore. So we're mixed in pretty good. It's time to make cookies. It's time to put them on the pan. That's what I'm talking about right here. So we've already preset our oven to 350 degrees. So typically I can knock out 50 to 60 cookies in under an hour. It just depends on what I want to do. I'm doing it a little bit slower this morning, but I am doing 2 batches. I ended up with 56 cookies at the end of my 2 batches. But normally if I'll make like 100 cookies, I'll have all 4 ovens running at the same time. They are preheated at 350 degrees. So there's one tray with 12. And if you notice, I do my cookies big. I do them I try to keep them about the size of the cookies, like if you were going into a bakery or you were at a theme park or something like that and you're buying a cookie and they give you a cookie in a wrapper. It's a pretty decent sized cookie. I don't get why they charge us $5 for a decent sized cookie, because I can make 50 cookies for roughly about $10. That's what this costs to make these cookies this morning. And that's pretty good. These cookies are going to the local middle school. They have some kind of lunch going on for the teachers and staff. And it's always nice to help out the local schools when you can. I'm not a huge fan of the politics in schools these days. I think teachers need to shut up, but there it is, 350 degrees, and as you can see, it's...
Okay, Google, set a timer for 15 minutes.
Okay, 15 minutes. Starting now.
And that's my Google. My house is a smart home. I have the Google things all over my house, and there's one that's right below this computer that I'm building the video on, and you heard it actually set a timer for 15 minutes along with my Google Hub in my kitchen. But I do a lot of things using my Google Whole Home. It's kind of nice to have. So that's the cookie dough that I have left over. So probably about 3 cookies worth, I would guess, right there, 3 cookies worth of dough left over. And I'm going to just start with the same mixing bowl. I'm not going to clean the mixing bowl out. I don't want to waste anything. I'm going to put the last stick and a half of butter in, mix it up. But I'm gonna tell you a secret that I think I learned about Save-A-Lot. And the people who know me who are watching this video and who've been to my house and had dinner, I have some pretty big dinners here. This is a new house that we're in, and I built this house strictly for taking care of my friends, feeding my friends, and hanging out with my friends and just having a good time around a dinner table. But when COVID struck and all the restaurants were closed, you couldn't go out and get a meal. You couldn't go out to dinner with your friends. And I noticed that a lot of people were lonely, angry. So I wanted to see if I could feed 10 people for under $100, a gourmet meal. And I knew I couldn't do it with that terrible big box store that we all seem to go towards that has subpar foods. So anyway, so I find that store to be rather expensive. And there is another grocery store in North Carolina, Georgia, maybe Tennessee, South Carolina. I'm not a huge fan of that grocery store because their prices are so high, you'll go broke eating there. So I said, you know what, let's try doing gourmet meal with ingredients from Save-A-Lot and see if we can do it for under $100. Well, that week Save-A-Lot had a sale, and they had whole prime rib for $3.99 a pound. That's a no-brainer to me. So I went and bought a 7-bone prime rib. That was my That was my protein for the meal. They had, it was like, I don't know, a 20-pound bag. It might have been even larger than that. No, it was yeah, I remember now. It was a 50-pound box of baking potatoes. 50-pound box of baking potatoes. And they were like $20. So I bought that. Yes, I gave everybody that came got a to-go bag of baking potatoes because there's no way I'm going to ever eat 50 pounds of baking potatoes. I did a French onion soup. I did a salad. And I did a pineapple upside down cake for dessert. And I was right around $90 to feed 10 people prime rib. And what I've learned using Save-A-Lot, or I don't know if I've learned it or this might be a trade secret for Save-A-Lot, but those of you that cook a little bit, or those of you that follow CNBC, you know that a company called Mondelez owns most of the food manufacturing in the world. Just Google it, Mondelez. They own Nabisco and a whole bunch of others, big major food manufacturers. They're like the parent company of everything that you and I eat. Well, Mondelez is pretty much Mexico. If you're an American, most of your food is coming from Mexico, whether you want to believe it or not. Look at the origin. So Save-A-Lot, if you buy foods and boxed items and canned goods, it all says it's made in Mexico. And I'm pretty sure that all the ingredients from Mondelez, if the Save-A-Lot food is not made and manufactured in a Mondelez factory, all their recipes have been shared with some other factory in Mexico, and Save-A-Lot is capitalizing by putting their name brand on the box. But yeah, no matter what I bought, including that vanilla you saw me dump in there, is a product of Mexico. But I'm pretty sure it's the same stuff that you're buying, whether it says, vanilla made by McCormick or vanilla made by Markham. I would guess it's coming out of the same factory, from the same mothership who owns everything that you and I are eating. All this processed food and crap that we're putting in our bodies is coming from the same ginormous, huge corporation. So we're almost halfway through making our second batch of cookies. And like I said, I can do 50 to 60 cookies in under an hour if I'm running both my ovens. And it's if you're building a house, if you're thinking about building a house, I strongly suggest you drop 2 double ovens into your house. It does not cost that much more. Here's my dry ingredients. And if you like to cook, you know as well as I do that you never have enough ovens. In my old house, I had a double oven set up, and I never, with 2 ovens, I didn't have enough ovens. I went out and I bought a little portable oven that sat on the countertop, and that helped out for if I was doing like a sweet potato casserole or some kind of side dish. I could easily do it in that little side oven. It's not a toaster oven. My little oven, it's not a toaster oven. If you're thinking that you can do it in a toaster oven, it's not. It's about 4 times the size of a toaster oven. you could easily do a full size pizza in this little portable oven I have. But it's nice to have enough ovens. And then if I'm entertaining, like I said, we do a lot of dinners here. I try to do at least one dinner a month at the house, and I do covered dish, and there could be anywhere from 20 to 26 people who come. I'm set up for 26 people can sit at my dining room table. It gets very loud in my dining room, in case you're wondering what 26 people is like. But yeah, it's nice to have extra ovens, so if people bring something that needs to be heated up, or they have something that they put together at home and they want to bake it at my house, they can come early. I love it when my guests come hour early, couple hours early, and they just hang out. It's nice, right? You're in the kitchen, you're cooking, and you have people that are hanging out with you, people you like, people you enjoy being around. So that's my thought. And we did big dinners before COVID hit, but since COVID hit, it's just been it's really been nice. We don't eat out as much. Our friends don't have to eat out as much, and you get to come over and you get to hang out with people for a few hours on a Saturday night. Sometimes I'll do it on a Friday night, depending on work schedules and whatnot. Holidays, I never have less than 20 people at the house on a holiday, and I don't have family, so it's nice to have friends who will come over and spend time with you. But my last house, it was difficult, but we could seat 20, and then we were fortunate that this company, China bans crypto mining, but a company decided they were putting a crypto mine right in front of our old house. So it was so loud, it was close to 80 decibels, 24/7. It was just annoying, and we hated it. All our neighbors hated it, but we were fortunate that we were in a position that our old house was almost paid off. So we were able to buy land. We had enough money in the bank that we could buy a large piece of land on a mountainside, and we built this house. This is a 3-story house, if you're wondering, on the mountainside. We've got a beautiful view. Our view is the Chirahela. That's where the Nantahala and the Nantahala National Forest and the Cherokee National Forest meet. They call it the Chirahela. We can see that mountain ridge from the second and the third floor. So we've got our views, and then I built the house. This is the second floor where the kitchen is, and it's mainly a kitchen and a dining room, a massive dining room. We do have a living room, a TV room is what we call it. We don't really entertain in the living room because TV's not on. When people come over, the TV's not on. There might be some music playing in the background, but everybody's in the dining room, talking and yelling and laughing and having a good time. But it's just nice. So there's a good view of my 90th anniversary KitchenAid mixer. I got this from Delta Sky Miles. There's one of my white ones up there. I have another one. I have another one in my pantry. Yes, there's been times when I've run 3 KitchenAid mixers at one time. But my timer just went off, so these cookies have been in now for 15 minutes, and I've been yakking at you for about 15 minutes. Your time on these cookies for them to bake is going to be anywhere from 15 to 17 minutes. You want to get the tops a golden brown. If they still look white on the top, if there's still like a whitish color to the top of them, leave them in there because you want them golden brown on the outside. If you pull them out too early, that cookie dough is going to be raw on the inside. And we want these cookies to be fluffy on the inside. We want to be fluffy and soft with a crispy outer shell, kind of, I guess you would call it. Crispy is best. When you put one of these in your mouth, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. These cookies are amazing. This is the first 24. A lot of people, and I do this too, depending on what kind of cookies I'm making. But a lot of people will leave cookies on the pan for a minute, and I'm not a huge fan of that unless I want the bottoms really crispy. The cookies are hot enough; they're still going to kind of continue to cook after you take them off the pan. I just don't want the bottoms of the cookies to be so hard that you chip a tooth trying to bite through them. But these look good right there, don't they? I know you're wanting one. So right now we're at 5:51. It's 5:51 in the morning. You can see out the window it's dark. I'm doing these cookies for school. Here's the second batch coming out of the oven now. These are for the local elementary school. They have something called a Fat Friday or something like that. And if you've been...
Okay, Google, set a timer for 15 minutes.
If you've been to a school and you've seen some of the teachers, you know why they call it Fat Friday. And that's fat spelled P-H-A-T. If you don't know what that means, Google it, because we have some very heavy teachers. You go to a school, there's a lot of heavy teachers and there's a lot of heavy students. Somebody's not getting enough exercise. Yeah, my cookies aren't helping them either. These cookies are just making a whole bunch of fat assasauruses. Look how good those cookies look. They are amazing tasting. Oh man, I've eaten 3 or 4 of them already before I edited this video. These cookies are amazing. I hope you like them as well as I do. If you liked me rambling about making cookies in this video, or you appreciate me putting up this recipe, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. I'm trying to get more subscribers. I'm going to see if I can make a little bit extra money on the YouTubes. Is that the cookie you want? That cookie you want me to try? How about that one? That one? No. Let's go with that one right there. That one looks pretty good. Look at this. Look at this. Look. See? Oh. Look how nice it looks on the inside. Oh, it's so good. See that? You let it bake just long enough so that cookie dough kind of gets fluffy and gets some air pockets in there. But that's my video, and thanks for watching. The ingredients are below.